That's what they always want. They always like reboot it. That's cool. I like the slate clap for your audio.
Something, yeah.
For your video.
Yeah, sync the audio up.
There you go. You got 2 of them now.
That works too. That was like the nicest thing about having a producer is that there's so much I didn't realize I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
When it comes to this video and this film game,
yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, it seems so much easier on the surface.
It looks so much easier. Like, lighting is so much more complicated than I realized.
Yeah.
I mean, just composition.
Yeah.
Fucking, like you said, color grade.
It's all lighting, in my opinion. Well, not in my opinion, but what I've learned lately is, like, if you get the lighting right, then you're, like, 95% of the way to having a great image.
Yeah, yeah. You can really just create whatever feeling you're trying to portray or like come across, you can do that through lighting, usually, I've found.
Yeah, definitely. And like we were talking about having a backlight.
Yeah.
You know, they use backlights, hair lights to like make somebody appear more like graceful than usual. So like in old Hollywood, whenever they would have, and it's still in current Hollywood, and like just like it's just a common practice, but when you have like a subject like a beautiful female subject, the first time you see her on camera, there's like this backlight behind her, so she's got like this angelic outline.
Yeah.
And there's probably like a light up here, doing a light on top, so you can see like the whole like her hair and everything. And then there's like of course the lighting from the front.
You never realize how much is really going on outside of the frame.
That is so true. That is so real, especially when it comes to like cinema. I do a lot of music videos, so it's not necessarily cinema itself.
But you can get cinematic.
Oh hell yeah!
Like real quick with it.
Oh hell yeah! And I have before. I was just working on a movie a couple weekends ago, and we're in an alleyway, and it's like there's a building. Like the shot's like facing this way. There's a building here that goes all the way down the alley, and then there's some parking, and then another building over this way.
Okay.
We took a light way over here and just put it on the side of that building, and it made the shot so much more like dynamic. There was like so much more depth to the shot.
Yeah.
And it just really opened it up. But you would never think we're lighting all this stuff over here. Let's put a light on that building.
Right.
You would think like, oh, let's light the subject and where we're going to be at. But having it, and it was behind some trees too. So there was like, we use the trees as basically a flag that you put in front of the light to give texture.
Okay.
Like a shadow texture.
Yeah.
So this building had like a shadowed texture and a light on it now. And it was just like a part of the shot. That's all it was. Just like something over to the side.
Right.
But it gave it more depth.
Yeah, if you didn't do that, like it wouldn't have popped the same.
Right.
Right. Man, I was doing a photo shoot and the my producer, my expert, or not ex-producer, but sort of, I don't know, he's fucking busy all the time. But the guy I was working with, he would take like a yellow light and like put in what was he doing? He was like using it almost as if it was the sun. And just creating just this whole almost like illusion of like we have this really beautiful sunrise coming in from over here. And I'm just like, shit, man, like I just never would have thought of that.
Yeah, there's a couple of studios that I've worked at where they've got some lights. So like what we'll do is we have an empty room. It's a warehouse.
Yeah. And
then we bring in a bunch of pre-built walls, paint them whatever color we need them to be.
Yeah.
Bring in a wall that's got a window in it, and then put like some out of focus giant blurry background, and then use these lights that put out like 10,000 watts of energy to emulate the sun coming through, like breaking through the window.
Oh, that's dope.
And it's like I'm just sitting there like, whoa, how did you think that we needed the sun to be emulated? Like, I don't know, just all the attention to detail in the lighting is like very crucial. But with a lot of art today, you don't have to.
Yeah. Well, the details
still
matter.
Make something cool. They do, and they don't.
It's whatever you want. It's like whatever you want, really.
Yeah.
Dude, you can literally just make shit happen with your phone if you really wanted to.
Oh fuck yeah, I do.
And just post edit work, and you can make it all happen.
Yeah, you can drop photos straight from your camera, like your DSLR or mirrorless or whatever it is. You can just, if they're connected to the same Wi-Fi, just drop them straight to your phone and edit on your phone.
Yeah. What camera are you using these days?
I have a collection of Sony mirrorless cameras.
Nice.
I have a Sony A7 III, and I have a Sony A6300, and I have two Sony A65s, which are like crop sensor DSLRs.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you use those two very much? The crop sensor ones?
Not anymore.
You can't get full frame.
No, I do. I have a full frame, and then my A6300 has a super 35 millimeter sensor, which is, I don't understand the math, but I guess like fake full frame. I'm like, is it full frame or not? I don't.
What is this? Is this all marketing?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
But those mirrorless are the future, bro. Like they produce some amazing video.
I don't know how they do it, and I don't know why being mirrorless like creates such a great image, but the cameras are light as hell, so you can use them. You could just connect them to like any like little piece of equipment you want, and it's not going to create too much like torque on any of the gear.
Yeah,
and it's going to be very easy to maneuver.
Right.
That's why I like them.
That seems to be the Sony A7 III seems to be like the standard for a lot of people. Like without going too crazy, like trying to get like a red camera or something. Like you can usually spend like $5 or $6 grand between like some like a lens and the Sony.
If you get some good glass, yeah, you're looking at like 3,000.
Yeah,
which is relatively low. But Sony just announced a new full frame camera.
Really?
Called the Sony A7C. It's a full frame, mirrorless digital camera, but it's the size of like a Sony A6300 or A6000. So it's the same size as their crop sensor cameras, but it's full frame.
Oh, that's legit.
Yeah, and it's coming in at a price range of $1,800, which is
that's pretty affordable.
Very affordable for a full frame, brand new camera.
Man, I'm such like I just love tech and gear.
Yeah.
And it's easy to do it like when you start getting into like film and photography.
Oh yeah.
Dude, like
it just racks
like
up
you
quick.
said, the glass is just so expensive, and then just depending on like, I mean, are you gonna get just like I have just like a nifty 50 for and like that's pretty standard, but then if you start getting like a telephoto lens or like a micro lens or just all these different fucking lenses that you can get, it just really changes everything. Yeah,
for sure. I mean the glass is, I don't know. I was having this conversation with one of my photographer friends. Shout out Miranda Munguia. You can find her on Instagram at miranda.munguia.
Shout out to Miranda.
I don't know how to spell her last name, but look at my recent post. She's probably in there somewhere. But I was like, yeah, the lens is more important than the camera. She's like, well, you can't take a picture without the camera. And I'm like, but you can't take a picture without the lens.
Right.
So which is it, you know?
It's true.
If you put a shitty lens on a nice camera, it's going to have like a base stock quality ability.
Right.
Because it's a good camera, but you're not going to have any range with the shitty lens. But if you have like a really good lens on a shitty camera, I feel like you could probably make a better looking image that way.
Right.
But it also always depends on the shooter, of course.
I mean, you could have a shitty camera and lens, and as long as you're good with it.
I mean, I've always had a shitty camera and shitty lens up until December of this year, or of last year. So
you just upgraded.
Yeah, I just got a full frame. Yeah.
I can dig it. Dude, I got to say, man, you're probably definitely one of my favorite content creators, like, in the city.
Thank you.
Wow. Like, I fucking dig your style. Like,
thank you, bro.
I would say in the city, I'm sure there's plenty of people doing it, but, like, in the city, you and, like, Drew Brown are like my two favorites.
Dude, Drew is off the fucking chain.
Is he not?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Shout out to the Film Lord.
For real. Like he's out there just doing some next level shit. Always. Yeah.
Out in the desert flying something crazy.
Yeah.
Like he's not just flying drones. He's flying like actual like quadcopters with a camera attached. Not like a DJI drone or something where the camera comes attached.
Right. He got a job at Ameren just so he could fly drones.
Really?
Well, he was flying drones for them.
Have you had him on the show?
I did. Okay. So it was kind of serendipitous in the sense that you can feel free to sit down here, dude. It's all good.
Cool.
Yeah. My boy put me onto him, and I was checking him out. I'm like, damn, dude, this dude's dope. And he was still in Orlando at the time. And would you just like put your shirt up to the camera?
Yeah, this is my homie's brand, Love Movement. So
oh, right on.
yeah, just make sure every now and then.
Dude, it's all about the positivity, man. Just promote the hell out of it.
Yeah,
I'm with it.
Shout out Love Movement.
Shout out Love Movement. But Drew was in Orlando at the time, and I was like, man, I just hit him up like, hey man, if you're ever in St. Louis, like I'd love to connect with you. And he would just so happen to be like coming back into St. Louis, and I guess he's been here ever since. But this was right before he went out to the desert to like go film some shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it was just super cool just to kind of like hear about his shit and what he has going on. He just has a very unique mind.
He really does. Drew and I shot weddings together back in like 2014.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So y'all go way back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we shot a couple of times together, and then we got together one or two other times outside of like work to shoot something. But I fuck with Drew mostly because I feel like we're kind of similar in this way where it's like, yeah, sorry I can't link up and do shit. I'm just doing me 100% of the time.
Shit. Yeah.
Like I don't have time for other stuff, but it looks good, bro. Like appreciate it.
That's how I feel, man. I feel like I'm probably one of the worst friends. Because I'll fuck around, you'll see me for a second, and then you won't see me for like 6 to 8 months. And it's like, what is he doing? I'm just doing my own thing, man. You do you, I do me. I see you when I see you. Like, but it's all love still.
Yeah, of course.
It's just when you're moving and grooving, you're just trying to create and do stuff.
Yeah, I feel like there's two different types of when it comes to being like a creator. There's two different ways. There's like obviously there's a million different ways, but you can kind of group it into these two types of lifestyles where it's like you're just obsessed with doing shit all the time, and so you don't really make that much time for other people, and then you find yourself like to be lonely, and then you're like, hey, other people, and they're like, oh, now you want to just show up all of a sudden. And then there's other people, other type where it's more of like a hobby where you live your, I don't want to say normal life, but to me it seems like what you're supposed to do, like, get a job, you work these hours that provide for your home and all this stuff. And then you do your fun stuff on the side. Yeah. And in that lifestyle, you spend more time with friends. Yeah. Whereas in my lifestyle, it's like when I go to work, that's when I'm seeing my friends, because we're all creatives. Right. We create things, especially in the camera world. And here in St. Louis, and I'm getting ready to move, so I'm going to miss it. But I've created sort of like a go-to team of people to help me create things, and I help them create things. Yeah. And it's just like a really strong small network of individuals that are just creating nonstop all the time. So I'm able to see my friends and like get a lot done simultaneously.
And it doesn't feel like work because it's just what you do.
Yes. Yeah. And when it starts to feel like work, and it has felt like work a lot of times, there's been a lot of periods in my life where I've thought about just like selling out and getting a job at Apple and just having that security that I'm so unused to. But at this point, I'm so used to the discomfort, the uncomfortability. It's almost like I don't know what to do with myself when I'm unable to be constantly challenged.
Oh, yeah. Man, well, speaking as a guy who, like, I went that route. Like, I went and I got my degrees. Like, I got my master's degree, worked the corporate 9 to 5. That's not really secure. It's just an illusion. Oh,
okay.
Really, really. Bro.
Break it down for me, because I've got homies that I create with regularly that do have that. Yeah. Security.
Secure job. Yeah. Here's the thing, man. Like, it's nice to get those regular checks. Like, that's nice, and it feels good to have benefits and all that shit. But at the end of the day, you're just a number in the system, and if you were to die tomorrow, they will replace you. Right. Like, it's just what it is. Like, I was working. I got my master's degree in healthcare administration. I was working up here at Express Scripts, which is like, they're in the healthcare space. They do like pharmaceutical benefits. Yeah, I'm familiar. Okay, right on. So I was there for 5.5 years. I was like doing some project management. I was crushing it. I smoke weed every day. Right. So they hit me with the random. I lost my job because of that. Not because of my performance. I was actually, at the time, I was the only person who did what I did, and I was in the marketing department, and I was the most recognized employee in marketing. Like, everybody knew who the fuck I was. Right. And then they hit me with that random, and like, I knew they did randoms, but I'm like, what are the odds? I was just playing the odds. Yeah. Came up short. But like, that's probably been 3 years ago now. Okay. And it was like, it just completely shifted my mindset in the sense that, like, dude, it can end.
They just replaced you.
Yeah. Well, they were actually, so it's weird.
Well, they tried to
They
replace.
tried. It was the funny thing is my girlfriend works there now,
Yeah.
and she actually was doing an event and she had to coordinate with the person they had fill in for me, and it was a shit show for months, probably like 6-7 months. Like
Wow.
it was just completely crazy.
And
But
what is, I mean, like the random drug test, it's like, what's the, especially, okay, I could see like random drug tests for things like cocaine or, man, like in some cases, I know like alcohol is illegal, but I feel like some people need to be like tested for alcohol when they come in the morning. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
if you're still drunk, take your ass home.
yeah.
Like, how is that any different from you smoked pot last night before bed?
Well, at the end of the day, dude, I could have been drinking and sniffing coke off of hookers' asses all weekend, and then came to work on Monday and tested pot. Like I could have passed the test
Right,
and been just fine.
right,
They wouldn't have fucking known.
right.
But you smoke some weed, and it's like, nope, not you. Get out of here, stoner.
That's so crazy,
It is
especially with
crazy.
how big of a deal like weed is to the medical community.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like in some places they're like, you're fired because you participate in this, and then other places they're like, thank you so much for being here to help us figure these things out.
Right.
With this drug.
Dude, on the plus side, I will give them the credit in the sense that they did ask me if I had a medical card. However, it wasn't medically legal here in Missouri at the time. If that were the case, I would have made sure I
Man.
had that shit. And
Yeah.
then I did go to one of the senior vice presidents who really liked me, and I was explained the situation to him, and they did actually review their cannabis policy because of like me.
Wow.
Getting fired. Yeah, I actually felt kind of important for half a second.
For half a second.
And then they're like, "No, you're not getting your job back." So I'm like,
Dang.
dude. But dude, just that whole idea of security is like, dude, it can fucking end at any time.
Wow.
It really, really can. Like, I lost that job. I got a couple like contract jobs, like 6 months. Like, I worked for 6 months on a contract, took 6 months off, worked for like another like 6 months at another company on contract. And when that ended, I was like, fuck this. I cannot keep running this rat race. And I haven't had an employer in 2 years.
Yeah.
Just all self-employed, just kind of just doing the grind. But
Yeah.
the idea of security is an illusion.
That's good to know. Now, well, I've already given up on the idea that I could do that. Like, I've made it past. Like, I'm too far deep into this.
Just keep doing it, man.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
keep
yeah.
fucking doing it.
To like step out and do, like a sellout move.
Yeah.
I'm sure I like, I'm getting ready to move to Atlanta.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, where you're Atlanta, huh?
Yeah. So
What's prompted? I caught you at the right time then,
literally, I move on Monday.
dude. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is
so
crazy.
you're like, can we do this? I'm like, can we do it this week? Because I'm leaving on Monday.
Yeah, I'm with it. So this is perfect.
Yeah. So my girlfriend lives in Nashville.
Okay.
She's a singer-songwriter,
That's a fun town.
musical artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to Nashville on Monday.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay there until January.
Oh, rad.
Morgan and I are moving to Atlanta in January.
Morgan's your girlfriend?
Yeah, Morgan Bossman. You can find her at Morgan Bossman. Check her out. She's got a new single out now called No Time.
Shout out Morgan.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, man. I've gone to Nashville a couple times. Did some podcasts down there.
Yeah, Nashville's the shit.
Yeah, man. It's a cool ass town for sure.
They're calling it Little LA.
Are they?
Apparently, I don't know.
Huh.
Shit, I've never been one to like participate in mainstream activities anyway, so I'm not really like downtown Nashville at South Broadway,
Yeah.
checking out all the country bars and shit. I'm at the skate park and
Right.
kicking it with some homies at the crib.
Yeah, I saw you
Smoking
kicking it
blunts.
with. Yeah, dude. I saw you kicking it with the homie Chris Grimes the other day.
Oh yeah, Chris, that's the homie.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
Yeah, he is, and he just dropped a new project too. The Grind Never Stops.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. I'm trying to get him locked down and try to get. He's hard to schedule with.
He is. Yeah, he's got a lot going on.
But dude, Atlanta would be cool, man. That's like, there's a big film scene down there, and you being a filmmaker, like that's perfect.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. So that's the only thing that's where I was connecting the dots from the 9 to 5
Yeah.
question, because it's like I could join, like here in St. Louis, I couldn't join a filmmakers union or a camera guys union
Yeah.
and be guaranteed like jobs. You pretty much got to go work at a studio. Maybe you have to join a union once you work there, but
Yeah.
here in St. Louis, there's very, 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 very slim pickings when it comes to video production jobs that aren't whack as hell.
Yeah.
And it's, my definition of whack might be different from someone else's definition of whack for sure. But what I mean by that is like doing things that are current. A lot of times in this area, most of the jobs, not all of them, but most of the jobs that I've come into proximity with and the opportunities I've had, I've kind of looked at it and been like,
yeah,
this is fucking kinda what I'm interested in doing. I don't know. No, it's not for me.
Not quite.
Yeah, because a lot of it's like they want you to make a corny commercial, and I'm like, can we do a commercial not corny? And they're like, well, this is what I want to do, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
We'll do it like. It's almost like it's like, oh, you create videos. Let's create this video. And I'm like, cool, I got all these ideas. They're like, no, we don't want the ideas.
Yeah.
We want you to hit record and make something like this.
Yeah, they want you for the technical aspect, not the creative.
Right. And,
yeah.
And that's cool and all. And I'm sure that there's lots of jobs here and there that are in other cities that, would be the same. But I know that there's opportunity for the things that are more in line with what I want to do. Like I want to do like $50,000 music video sets, $1 million music sets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Music video sets.
Is that really the niche, like music videos for you?
That's my niche.
You make some fun ass music videos. Niche.
It's both.
Yeah.
It's like Tigre. It's both.
Yeah.
No one ever knows. Are you Calvin Tiger or Calvin Tigre? I'm like, whichever one you want.
Yes is the answer.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like, fuck. You're in probably, I feel like, and I could be exaggerating, I feel like you're in like 3 or 4 different like music groups.
That's right. Yeah, 3 or 4 music groups is right. Yeah.
I'm like, damn, you just like you got like 2 or 3 different pairs. I'm like, damn, some dope ass music though. I'm like, but then here's a new group. I'm like, which group is which? Which one's current?
Yeah, it's kind of all.
Yeah,
like
you're deep in.
doors.
Yeah, you're deep in the music scene.
Try to just, man. I've always been. I'm fortunate that I'm a filmmaker, photographer, and I can participate with music without playing it. Like I can participate in a live show.
Yeah.
I can create with the music, but not be playing music.
Yeah.
Because playing music is not one of my strong suits. But I am musically charged and musically active. Regularly.
We have good energy, so I bet like on stage that comes through well, and then just entertaining.
Yeah, I'm good at. I think I'm good at entertainment for myself. Like, I have a good time when I'm up there.
That's all that matters.
And I know that as long as I'm having a good time, everyone else is going to have a good time.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're going to have people, who stick up their ass always. But
right. But good times are contagious.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm always trying to create is a good time.
Yeah. Dude, I'm a big believer in just like the energy that you put out in the world is what's returned to you.
Absolutely.
So I'm constantly taking audit of the energy I allow around me. Like if you're coming with some bullshit, then you're gonna have to keep moving.
Yeah, you can miss me with that.
For real, for real. So Atlanta's a good town for you then, man, because there's a good blend between film and music down there.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into music videos there.
Yeah.
And we have music community and we have film community here in St. Louis, but we don't really have industry for either of those.
Okay.
Because, someone might say, sometimes I get, uppity, and someone's like, yeah, the music industry in St. Louis. I was like, change that word. Industry? Who's being paid? Who's making money?
Music scene.
Music scene, music community.
Yeah.
Because there's not, you can't just look up an agent's office and go in there and just request a meeting with a label or management or, any sort of position like that could help you create a team. You pretty much have to do it DIY as fuck.
Yeah, but
in this area. But doing it DIY is a great way to do it.
There's no better time than now
to be DIY in all ways. You just don't, usually there's somebody there's a chain of things where someone is a gatekeeper somewhere and they let you in the gate. There aren't any gatekeepers in this area really.
Yeah.
There's no gate. There's nothing to keep behind a gate anywhere.
Right. Bro, kick the fucking gate down and
that's what I'm saying.
Just stampede in there, dude.
Yeah.
So I can definitely understand.
So I'm on my way.
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure, dude. You're doing it, man, for sure, dude. It's just you just got to keep doing it long enough and put yourself in the positions to win.
That's why I'm moving.
Yeah.
That's a position play, you know?
Yeah.
My proximity to opportunity needs to be a lot closer.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, because it's like one of those things where I can understand where your struggle is between like, do I get a 9 to 5? Because it's like you kind of got to do what you got to do until you can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Where it's like sometimes you got to like take those technical gigs just to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, like you're still creating and doing your own like passion and like you're expressing yourself artistically until eventually that people only want to pay you for expressing yourself artistically.
Right.
So it's just like how do you make that leap from one to the other?
Yeah, man, it's a lot about believing in yourself, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, for a long time, it's not that I doubted myself, but it's more so that I just didn't like actively believe. Like I had like dreams and this and that, but it was a dream and not a plan.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a difference.
Yeah, there really is, and it took me a while to like believe in myself enough to where my brain thinks, "Oh, let's make a plan
right
to make this happen," as opposed to just thinking like my mindset before was like, "Oh, if I make it, I'll make it and I'll put it out and that'll work." And
yeah,
that's like fucking not gonna work.
Because you put it out and then it doesn't work and you're just like, fuck, man, like what am I doing wrong? No one likes my shit. Like,
yeah, and it's not that people don't like your shit; it's that they're not seeing it.
Well, and also
maybe they don't like it, but for the most part, it's probably that you're like exposure,
right?
Which sucks because I hate that word. 'Cause people are like, "Oh, play for exposure." When you're a musician, you're trying to get a gig and this stuff, and playing for exposure doesn't work after your exposure. After you got enough exposure, you don't need to just keep playing for it.
Right, right.
But it's so true that you absolutely need it. Like, I've got friends in this band called Drangus. Shout out Drangus. I need to show you some of their stuff. It's so off the chain. They're my roommates now. They weren't my roommates when I fell in love with their music. It just so happened that I had the opportunity to graduate into their community.
Dope.
Yeah.
You manifested that.
Absolutely.
For real.
Yeah. And what was I gonna say? Drangus. I forget. They're off the chain.
Yeah. What the fuck were we talking about?
I don't know. I'll switch over to another subject though. So here in St. Louis, which is I feel like probably most of the listeners will be. What's your split like, or what's your?
We got a lot in Missouri. I got a lot in California too.
Okay, cool.
Dude, I'm actually damn near in every state, and we actually have quite a few people in Australia listening. Some in the Netherlands.
What up?
Dude, yeah, it's steady growing. Oddly enough, how we were talking about how everything kind of like slowed down. Even whenever I wasn't releasing episodes, I was still probably doing 1,500, 2,000 downloads a month.
That's really sick.
It's legit. Like I couldn't believe it. I'm like, people are still rocking with this shit.
Yeah.
I can't believe people are listening. I fucking love it. But yeah, we got a lot of people here in St. Louis for sure.
That's cool. Yeah, because the last one I was on was STL versus everybody.
Right. I actually had Bodine on last night.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Bo.
Shout out Bo. He gave me a shirt. It's downstairs. I should have wore it.
I should have wore a Bodine shirt.
That's
my G.
He's a good dude, man.
Yeah, I've done like 4 or 5 videos with him. Maybe 6.
I watched your last interview with him.
Cool.
It was real good.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I try not to focus too much on local stuff, but I'm about to move on Monday, so it's like so heavy on my mind, like the differences between this area and those areas. But what's great about St. Louis as a creator, as a self-employed creator, is you can do it so much easier than you can do it in other cities because the cost of living is so cheap.
Right.
What I found here is that most people in St. Louis that do something creative are freelance. Most people, I'm freelance, so obviously a lot of the people in my world are going to be freelance, but I'm just looking around like, damn, everyone's leaving their jobs at Apple or at the Apple store or this and that, and they're going they're buying a camera, going freelance or pursuing something else freelance, like Depop, reselling like vintage clothes and things like that. And it's so doable. And then I travel to other cities, and I'm working with people who, like here in St. Louis, someone comes to me, and a musical artist says, I want a music video. How much does it cost? And I break it down, and I'm like, it's going to be $600, which is really fucking cheap.
That's hella cheap.
For a music video.
Oh, yeah.
In St. Louis, they're like, man, can we do like 5? And I'm talking like motherfuckers who have won Grammys have tried to haggle me down from $750 to $500.
What?
Motherfuckers with Grammys. I'm not even kidding. This is St. Louis prices. So then I go to another city, Nashville, Atlanta, Chicago, L.A., New York, whatever. They're like, hey, I want to get a music video done. Like, what's your budget? They're like, between $1,200 and $1,500.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of cheap, but can you? And I'm like, yeah, well, let's.
We can rock with that.
We can rock with that. Yeah, I've made a lot more with a lot less.
Yeah.
But it's because in Nashville the cost of living is so high, or Atlanta's a little bit comparable to St. Louis. It's not as crazy. Like I said, Nashville's becoming like the country music.
They're blowing
LA.
up.
Yeah. But in Chicago the cost of living is high. LA, New York, of course. Artists have that 9 to 5 to pay for their art, which is a whole different facility, because like here you can make the art and that pays for your bills, but then you don't have anything to propel your art with,
right?
Whereas when you get the 9 to 5, you have, for me, like I'm making things every single day, so they kind of get like
all kind of blurs.
It kind of blurs a lot, but for other people it's like they have one project outside of the regular grind. I say regular meaning like you clock in for someone else, type of grind.
Man, and you have to invest in yourself.
You have to.
And that's one of the things like I had to really come to grips with, and I've even more recently still have, is that you have to invest in marketing. Like
it's everything.
Like you may have the dopest shit, but if people don't know about it, what does it matter?
Right.
Like it kind of feels weird.
In that way, like of course it's gonna matter to you.
Right. But if you're trying to do something with it, you're trying to affect people, or you know what I'm saying? It's like it almost feels like, hey, look at me. But to a degree, it's like, hey, motherfuckers, look at me. Like, look what I'm doing, man. Like,
absolutely.
If you don't tell people about it, if you're not your own biggest fan and cheerleader, then nobody else will be. It's just fact.
That's the realest shit.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you say that, because also being Midwestern, we struggle with that.
Yeah.
A lot. Like
we're the quiet professionals. We're blue collar here.
Yes. And so much about being humble, to the point to where if you are in a conversation with somebody and you're like, man, I recently just like during quarantine, I got my life in order, man. It feels good. I started working out. I started spending a lot more time outside. I started reading more, et cetera, et cetera. And then I was like literally having this conversation, and someone's like, yeah, talk about how great you are. Why don't you? And I was like, whoa, you are a sad person. I didn't say that, but I was like,
that's what you felt.
Damn, I worked hard, made changes, and saw results, and I would like to celebrate that with my expressions and how I use my voice. And this offended you? Or like you're mad at me? You think that I'm bragging? No, motherfucker. Like, like, come on, don't even play. That's not even the tip of the iceberg. I'm dope with it, and I don't need to tell you that I'm dope with it. But you know what I mean? Like, if you're not sharing with people the things you've created, they're not going to see them.
Right.
Shameless self-promotion. Like, you have to go through it, and you have to get over that idea of like, well, I don't want to piss everybody off by posting about my stuff every day. Look at Bo Dean. Nobody's fucking mad at Bo Dean. Everybody loves Bo and all of his content.
Yeah.
And he just posted all day, every day.
Yeah, man. Dude, that's just the difference between having like a growth mindset and just having a scarcity mindset.
Right.
Where it's like you feel like somebody else's success is your failure. And then it's just like it's like crabs in a barrel, man. People, and that's a big thing around here, man. Motherfuckers always want to pull somebody else down because it makes them feel bad. But it's like those are the people who are never really gonna go anywhere. Like those are the people you don't want to be associated with.
I tried it and I couldn't make it, bro. You gonna try it, you ain't gonna make it either.
Yeah. Well, like you said, oh, you think you're better than me, bro? You think you're better than us? Oh, you trying to get healthy?
Shit, I'm trying to be the best me as possible. So what the fuck? Like, you should be doing the same.
Right. Well, what I'm doing has nothing to do with you, really.
Yeah. What are you talking about? I don't think I'm better than you. I'm trying to be better than who I was yesterday.
Right.
This is a battle with me. That's why I skateboard, bro. Because it's a fucking battle with me every time. Nobody can help me get better at skateboarding but me. I have to do it.
That's it. You gotta do. It's like it's all internal. Dude, skateboarding. It's my girlfriend just found this. Dude, I will watch skateboard clips on Instagram for fucking hours.
It's addicting.
It's my
TikTok fucks me up. I'll straight be on TikTok for 20 minutes and it feels like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Watching skate clips.
Dude, just the sound of the wheels.
Yeah,
I just
the
love
crack from the ollie.
Yeah, for the ollie or when they're grinding, I just absolutely love it. And like growing up, I used to love skating. I was a fat kid. I used to break boards and
Oh
shit.
yeah,
Yeah, bro. I remember
Look at you now.
I know you would never have known, dude. I remember one time I was trying to do a grind and I just like the board went that way and I just like fell back onto the fucking on the rail. I'm just like, not anymore. Like skating's not for me.
Yeah,
Skating's not for me. But I was in LA probably, I guess almost 2 years now, and I was taking this steel mace course, it was like a fitness course, and this dude named Neen Williams was in there. You know who Neen Williams is?
Yeah,
dude. I'm just like,
I've seen him on Skate Line NBD, which is like a skateboard. Here's what happened in skateboarding this week type of show.
Oh, really?
But I'm not good with following the pros really.
Yeah, well, either way, I've been so far out of the skate culture, and I'm just like, I didn't know who he was at the time. I met him. He's super fucking nice guy, real down to earth, super chill. Connected with him. I looked up him on Instagram. He has like almost like 500,000 followers. I'm like, oh, you do this for real? Like this is your job. This is what you just skate every day. He's in like Thrasher and doing all this shit. I'm just like, damn, man, like. The skate world and skate, like, it just put me back on the skate world and culture. I'm just like, damn, like, this is still very, like, well and alive and growing.
More so than ever, probably, in my opinion, because when I started skating, it was sort of like, it was kind of, I was born in 1990. I started skating in, like, 1998, 1999. Yeah. I was, like, 8 or 9 years old. And it was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater came out.
That was the shit.
Dude, we had... They had Domino's had this like deal. If you order like 2 large pizzas and a soda, you get like a PlayStation sampler disc.
Yeah.
And it had like Tekken 3, Tomb Raider, Metal Gear Solid, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and like a racing game. I forget what the game was.
I remember that.
And I wanted a skateboard so bad after that. I just played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, the first fucking level. One character.
Over and over.
Goldfinger's Superman, just on repeat for like hours. And then eventually, I got the game. And for me, it was kind of, skateboarding was kind of roped in with like punk rock, where it was kind of counterculture at the time. And so if you have a skateboard, people are already like on their little cell phone, like, we've got a skateboarder in the parking. You're like crossing through the parking lot, and they're already on their phone calling the police. And you're like, what in the fuck? So like we got kicked out of like every spot we went to, always. But that was half of the fun of it. Was like we knew we couldn't skate. We're not allowed to be here. Let's get these tricks in before we get in trouble. And if trouble shows up, let's just handle it. Yeah. And it was like this sort of. It was this freedom, but it was like you had to like fight for the freedom. Like you don't own these steps, bro. Like you're just the manager here. You're trying to save your own ass. Fuck you. Watch me hit this kickflip.
For real, dude.
And then you have your homie like kind of like trying to talk to him, and the other homie's got the camera, and you're like, all right, let's get this clip,
dude. Yeah.
And nowadays it's like. You're allowed to skate wherever you want because it's so accepted. Yeah. And it's so popular. And they've also built – there weren't skate parks in every county.
They're everywhere now.
Yeah. You can – there's one in Maplewood. There's one on Morgan Ford. You got Ramp Riders that's indoor downtown. Then you've got the Webster one. These are all like Ramp Riders isn't free, but we're talking about like free outdoor skate parks.
Right.
There's Jefferson Barracks, like all these parks that they just built – for skaters to be at.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really huge and more popular than it was when I was a kid, for sure. I didn't skate from like 16 till January this year.
Oh, so you just got back into it?
Yeah, I just got back into it.
Have you been fucking up your shins and stuff?
Yes.
Dude,
my ankle is like pretty dude, I like legitimately bruised the bone on my ankle. Like it's been well over a week, and what happened was like the bolt in the middle of the wheel caught my ankle bone right here. And my whole leg, like, mentally I was like, okay, that didn't hurt that bad. I can walk. But my leg was like, no. Like, I got hit in the ankle, but my whole leg was like,
Yeah, you hit a nerve or something.
Yeah, it's still fucking bruised, man.
Damn.
It still hurts. I can skate fine, but if to the touch, it's like still fucked.
Yeah, a part of me was like, man, maybe I should start trying to skate again. And I'm just like, nah, man, I'm gonna fuck myself up. Juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Yeah, you fuck yourself up. That's kind of why I like it, in some twisted way. Because, my whole life I was an athlete. I never really had the chance to be in the creative worlds that I wanted to be in. Like in high school, I wanted to like participate in the plays and check out some thespian activities, maybe fuck around with an improv team or something.
Okay.
But rehearsal was always the same time as practice, and I was on the football team and I was on the track team. Okay. So that's fall and spring.
Right.
And then at the high school I went to, they only had 2 shows a year, fall and spring. So I literally couldn't even do it. And then it was to the point to where I was like, I want to take this acting class. And they're like, well, that's the same time as your weight training class. And since you're on the team, you either got to come in before school and do weight training or just do weight training in school in the class. So, I'm like, I'm not coming in early. So I'll just not take an acting class.
Yeah.
And get into, this weight training. So then I got to college. I had a track and field scholarship.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is fucking lit. I was in the 100, 200, and 400, and of course the relays. I did some long jumps at conference just to like get some points on the board. I could score a few points at the long jump and triple jump. Overall, just like super athletic person.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of college, when I got to school, I started studying film, acting, directing, theater, improv. I was on the improv team for all 4 years, so I was really able to use like my right side brain and get those creative juices flowing that I'd always felt like that was my calling. Was like I was doing the athletic stuff because I was good at it, and it was kind of like what you did as like a young man.
It's much more socially accepted, right? I mean, it's like that's what you do as a young man, right?
Like it was almost like, on autopilot for a long time. I was just doing these sports. But don't get me wrong, I loved them. I had a great time.
Right.
And these are my friends, my teammates, my brothers, and my sisters, because track was co-ed. But it was really cool. Towards the end of college, though, I left the track team and just started pursuing doing music full time. And then I bought a camera and started, then I was actually like an athlete. But before that, my whole life was dominated by hours every day of physical activity. And then when I left the track team, that slowed down to like not that much at all. I've kept up with routines, but it's always in phases. It's like 3 months I'll have like a solid routine, and then I'll kind of like fall out of it for like 9 months, and then I'll get back into it, for a couple of months. So I do have some stuff going on, but skateboarding really this year was able to bring back that forgotten necessity of physical activity.
Yeah.
And getting beat up a little bit along the way kind of reminds me of football. Like I'm in the shower like, oh, what's that bruise from?
Yeah.
This type of shit. Like I'm at the point where I'm getting enough bruises where I don't even know where all of them are from.
Yeah.
Which for some reason makes me feel badass, I guess. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I can, because man, on a regular day, if you don't skate or you don't exercise, or even if you do exercise, but you don't skate or you don't box, you don't play football or any of that shit, how often are you physically putting yourself in a position to get your shit rocked? Like, not that often.
Not often.
And then when it does happen, you're like, fuck, this sucks. But then 5 minutes later, you're like, shit, let me try this kickflip again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, a mind over matter thing. I smoke weed every day too. Like blunts every day. My habit's like as intense as it ever was right now. And I don't like to smoke before I skate because I'm like, oh shit, I'm like nervous all of a sudden. Whereas when I'm sober, I'm not nervous. But lately I've just been like, fuck it, I'll skate till I'm sober.
Okay.
And then I'll like, even if I'm like stoned, I'll go out there and skate, and then like an hour later I'll be my brain is refreshed, man. It's like the toxins are out. I got my sweat on.
Yeah.
Got my ass beat a little bit.
Dude, that sweat is important.
It's so important.
It's like you said, it cycles through all the shit in your system, and
yeah,
it just keeps everything moving like it should be. Otherwise, it gets like pent up in your body.
No, that's real. That's so real.
Yeah, man.
And with quarantine, man, I had to get the fuck out of the house. And I live in a house with how many people did we have in there? So we had Tom, Tony, Che, Noah, Morgan, myself. So we had 6 people.
Motherfucking real world house.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, we're fortunate that in quarantine, and my girlfriend was able to be. She had a gig in St. Louis on like March 14th, and then everything was shut down March 15th.
Oh, wow.
So she got quarantined in St. Louis for the first 3 months, which was really off the chain. We were fortunate that we had so much going on because honestly, we made like probably 10 to 15 total records like that whole time.
Oh,
just
you guys
having
are putting in work though.
Yeah, we have a studio in the upstairs spot of our house that's like totally legit.
Oh, nice.
There's probably like 20 grand worth of gear in that spot. My roommate Tom, he's the singer, one of the singers in Drangus, and songwriter. He is an engineer, so he just runs sessions out of the crib.
Oh, that's convenient.
And it's not like, hey, come over to my house. I got this little corner. No, it's like fucking legit,
it's
dude.
A real studio.
Dude, and I know the broker that he gets all his gear from, and he's always filling me in. I'm like, he's like, yeah, Tom made a purchase. I'm like, oh, how expensive was that one? You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're not talking about $300, $400 mics. We're talking about $4,000 mics.
Right.
We're talking about $4,000 barefoot monitors, $4,000 a piece.
Like premium line shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Man, it's so interesting how, I mean, we were talking about, you know, the sweating and like the physical activity.
Mm-hmm.
Like the physical, it feeds into the mental.
Absolutely. It makes, like, honestly, I've been more like, also getting into a new activity is always good. That's growth. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I've felt my creativity kind of like take a new turn.
Right.
Since I've been more physically active this year. I've been more physically active this year than in the last like 4 or 5 years.
It's easy in that creative endeavor where you just focus just on the creative, and you feel like everything's kind of like more mental.
Mm-hmm.
But man, your entire reality is dictated by like how physically in shape you are.
Totally.
It really is.
Dude, yes. Like, I'm more confident just walking places, like just existing. I'm more confident on a regular basis. Doesn't matter what the situation is. Could be like, okay, I got to go to this meeting and do some business. I need to, you know, talk about money, this and that. When you're physically active and like in shape, I wouldn't even say I'm in shape, but when I'm physically active, it's like the confidence is there without like having to do something to have confidence. You know what I mean? It's just like you're confident in yourself because you've already like accomplished something challenging that day.
Well, we need to do difficult and challenging shit. We absolutely need it.
All the time.
Without that, then you just get in this rut and like life becomes mundane and monotonous. But like I get that through jiu-jitsu all the time. Yeah. It's like I get to challenge myself. I get to sweat. There's a lot of physicality to it.
Yeah.
And it's just this constant, ever-evolving puzzle and against another human being who's also this complex thing.
Yeah.
But then like you get physically better. You get that fix on the physical, and then that helps with the mental, and like you said, you get more confidence, and that will feed into your belief. Cause
it'll feed into your creativity then.
Yeah,
and like I've been able to this year sort of like maneuver some of my what used to be like creative obstacles for me have now become not obstacles. Mentally, because I've been more physically active. It's so fucking weird, but it's all like, you know, you gotta get your body right, get your mind right.
Absolutely.
You gotta get your mind right, get your body right.
What people don't realize is that, especially in the age of like pharmaceuticals where everybody's just given like an antidepressant and shit.
Yeah.
Like serotonin, which is like that's like the happy fucking what the fuck is the word? Either way, the word's slipping. Either way,
I don't know. I'm no doctor.
It's the reason for it's what makes us happy.
Yeah.
Why am I drawing a blank? Either way, 90% of your serotonin is produced in your gut, so it's not actually in the brain. So it's like the foods that you're eating.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's so crucial.
Yeah, dude.
Like to feeling good on a regular day. I don't mean like physically feeling good. I mean to be in a good mood.
Yeah.
It has so much to do with your diet.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It really
and that was
is.
another thing during quarantine. I got my diet back on track because I was stuck in this mode of like, go to the function, get a couple of drinks while I'm working. You know, I'm shooting something or I'm meeting up with some people. We have a couple of drinks. I'm going to get some food on the way home.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to wake up feeling like shit. Like, oh, man, I'm going to change it. But I'm a little hungover, so not working out today. And then, all right, handle all this creative stuff. And then I got this shoot at 9 o'clock. All right, and I'll get to the function, have a couple of drinks, you know, this and that. And I'm always so much on the go. When it slowed down, I started going to the grocery store and buying the food that I wanted to put in my body.
Yeah.
Not just eating the food that was available at the times when I was available to eat.
Right.
I was able to make like nothing was going on for like fucking at least the first month.
Oh yeah.
Nothing was going on. Maybe the first 2 months, I can't remember, but I was just like
solid 2 months for sure.
Yeah.
0.
I was just like, all right, I'm going to get all the groceries because I got to cook now. That's the main reason why I wasn't eating good. It's because you got to cook to eat.
And it takes time, especially when you're trying to make shit happen.
Yeah. And so I appreciate the pace that we're on now. Everyone's slower than we were before. I feel like maybe, you know, some people came back from the future and the future's all fucked up. And they're like, we got to prevent the future from getting fucked up. So we're going to put a pandemic in 2020. We're going to make a pandemic happen so everyone gets straightened out.
Maybe.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Because the way that it seemed to me is I'm like, damn, everyone's kind of like, I know everyone was at first cooped up in the house, but now everything's back on normal. It seems like everyone's kind of like at a happier pace just in general when it comes to like, you know, how often people are hanging out and how often people are going out and how often people are drinking. I noticed, like, definitely for me, the drinking slowed down. Well, at first it didn't. The first month we were fucking lit every night. But then after that I got sick of it and the drinking slowed down to like where now it's like I don't get drunk that frequently.
Yeah.
I might drink, you know, once or twice a week, but I'm not getting drunk where I was getting drunk 3 or 4 nights a week.
Yeah. You fucking, maybe it's because of the industry that you're in, like you're making the right choices. There are for sure people out there who are not making the right choices. Alcohol sales have for sure gone up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
man.
Well, and also weed
Bo was
sales.
talking about that last night.
More people are buying weed now. I mean, like everyone I've talked to, especially in St. Louis. I was going to say this earlier about the freelance world.
Uh-huh.
St. Louis has a weed problem. And I don't mean it as a problem. I just mean like I go to other cities and I work with people and I'm in the studio and they're like they're not smoking. They're not smoking in the studio and they're not smoking at all.
Yeah.
Maybe they do from time to time.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, this is weird because every time I go anywhere, fuck man, I meet up with people to talk business and they're like rolling a blunt. and I'm not talking about, these are people like you and I that are like, you know, not drug dealers, not like real into it. It's like very, you know, this is a nice place and like unsuspecting. I mean, maybe me, I'm not unsuspecting, but you might be unsuspecting to a lot of people for being, you know, like a weed smoker.
Oh yeah. Yeah. People are usually surprised.
Because of the you know, your professional exterior.
Yeah, it's easy to judge a book by its cover.
For sure.
For sure. Dude, I had a fucking question. Oh, I know I was gonna ask you. So was college, was that really like the start of like you getting into the filmmaking, or like where did filmmaking start for you?
Dude, it started for me when I was like 11.
Oh, so real early.
Yeah. You know, I was skateboarding and I wanted to film some shit, so I borrowed my dad's handy cam.
Oh, nice.
And then, you know, he would let me borrow it for the weekend. I'm not skating the whole weekend, so I had time to, like, shoot stuff.
What were you editing on?
I wasn't. I was shooting everything in order. Making movies with my cousins.
Oh, shit.
We were just shooting, and then we would, like, connect the camera to the TV.
Yeah.
And then play it off the camera. Like, I'd be, like, hitting play on the camera, and it's playing on TV. Excuse me. This seltzer water has me burping.
Yeah, all the carbonation.
For an interview. But it tastes great.
It's all good.
Yeah, so I started just, like, making films with my cousins, and we just had to, like, film them in order, and there would be, like, a blue space. It would be, like, stop, play, and then the next scene would happen. Type shit.
That's
so
funny.
Yeah, I didn't get an editing program until I was like 14, and at the time it was Cyberlink Power Director.
I don't even know what that is.
Right, and I wasn't like, oh man, I'm just so into filmmaking. It was like, I wonder if that program that grandma got me for Christmas, like, I wonder if I could actually make some shit in that program. Because, like, you know, they're like, oh, you make videos? Maybe you'll like this editing program. I got this DVD ROM or something in, like, 2003 that had, like, a Cyberlink Power Director on it. I had it for, like, a year, and I didn't really know what I was doing, and it was tech, and I was like, I don't know. But then one day I just sat down and figured it out and made a little movie with my homie. Shout out Will Lon Carrick, R.I.P. He just passed away this year.
Oh, damn.
So we were like, yeah, I don't know, man. It was a slow evolution for sure. When I was in high school, I made a couple of videos, and every time I had a class that would, like, allow us to make a video, I always picked make a video. Yeah, as a lot of people do. But I was, like, real serious about it. And it got to the point to where I was making videos for my homies for their class. I wasn't even in the class. I was making the video for them.
Were you getting paid for it, or were you just doing it?
No, I was just doing it, man. Like, for me, it's just fun to make.
A business, bro.
I could have, but
I get it though. Passion.
What high school kid had money to help me make a video for his class? You know what I mean? Or for his or her class.
That's true.
Yeah. So then, yeah, just kind of, I didn't know what the fuck to study in college. I was like, man, I don't know. I feel like you know, when you're going into, it was supposed to be going into college, and it was different at the time than it is now. Like, pretty much everybody, it was still the doctrine, you have to go to college to get a good job.
Yeah.
That was still the case when I started school. And I had to fucking choose something to study. And I was like, I don't fucking know. Like, all of these options seem boring.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe I was, like, interested in nutrition. I was like, maybe I could be a nutritionist just because I give a shit about that. Like, what do I actually care about? And then I was helping a homie make a video for his class his senior year. And I was like, damn, I wonder if I could do this. Because if I could make videos, that would be the shit. I could see myself having a career doing that.
Yeah.
Like, that would be cool. And then I started, you know, I had a bunch of scholarship offers, and I was just like, all right, let me run through all these and see, you know, which ones offer a film program. And, like, most of them didn't. A lot of the schools were like, yeah, come here and we'll get you a communications degree, and we can shape it into what you want. And I'm like, man, I'm just going to be whacked. Their camera's going to be not that good, and I don't know. So I ended up picking William Woods University.
Oh, William Woods down in Fenton?
Fulton.
Sorry.
Yeah. But it's probably about as south as Fenton is in the Missouri. Right. If you're just straight across, straight west.
Well, I'm from Jeff City, so I mean.
Oh, yeah, you're hip.
Yeah, Fulton's right up the road.
Yeah, dude. Well, the other half of my rap group, Nolo, and Tigre Nolo, which is my name and his name. Yep. Nolo is from Jeff.
Is he?
Yeah, he lives in Jeff.
Oh, damn, small world.
Yeah. You go to JC?
Yeah, I did.
Cool. I think he went to JC.
Do you know how old he is? When did he graduate?
He graduated in 2010 or 2011.
Oh, okay. I graduated in 06.
06?
Yeah,
okay.
So we probably never crossed paths.
Probably not, and he's the oldest in his family, so. But, yeah, I went to school in Fulton, and I actually had a track and field scholarship, and they had a film program. And I was like fucking geeked because I was like, dude, like none of the other – it was like film school or athletic program. Like, I can go to film school for full price, or I can get an athletic scholarship and go to college for the price of my scholarship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like I was thankful I found a school that offered me both.
Yeah, that's very fortunate.
And it was very close to home, which, like, at first I didn't give a shit about. I was like, I'll go to California or whatever. But with it being close to home, I grew to enjoy that, like being able to come home on the weekends. I'm one of 7. It's a blended family, so there's a lot going on. But
okay.
I have like 6 other siblings back in St. Louis, so it was nice to come home from time to time and see the family. I didn't appreciate family as much then as I do now because I was still living with family up until I left for school.
Right.
And then I started to realize, like, damn, okay, I do miss these motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's like you have to. It's like you have to leave a little bit and get out of the situation to to really appreciate it.
Yeah. And I'm trying to explain that to my little brother now. He's 19.
Yeah.
He's a freshman in college, but with the pandemic, so he's living at home. Like
he's probably struggling right now,
bro. I'm like, I'm proud of him because he's doing it in those circumstances, and I couldn't have stayed home and been like cool. Like, I don't know. I'm an adventure seeker for sure.
Yeah.
So I have always been like when I was a kid, I never wanted to stay the night at my house. I always wanted to stay the night somewhere. I was like, fuck it, I'll sleep in my car. I don't care. Let's just go do something tonight.
It's on the go.
Yeah, let's figure something out. And then eventually, like, I came to really appreciate, the home life.
Was Fulton too slow at all for you? I mean, there's not a lot going on in Fulton.
There is a lot going on in Fulton.
Is there?
It's just not like, cutting edge type of shit. I'll tell you, there's a lot fucking going on, bro. I witnessed a shootout.
Really?
Yeah.
Fulton.
And bro, don't get it twisted.
I guess this some
motherfuckers are straight crazy in Fulton, bro. Because if you think about it, Fulton, Missouri, it's a small town.
Yeah.
Near Columbia, Missouri. And I don't know what the population is, but this is what they have. A high school, what used to be an all-men's college, and what used to be an all-women's college, a prison, an insane asylum, the Missouri School for the Deaf, so a large deaf community, and a nuclear facility.
Yeah.
So you have, like, these, like, certain factions that are all kind of like, it was more like high school than you would imagine.
Yeah.
Like, where you're out and it's like, I'm a student, so I'm a student. I'm not a townie. The townies are townies. They're not students. The townies got the townie bar. The students got the student bars. And then there's a deaf bar. And I'm like, dude, that sounds fun, though.
Let's go check that one out.
Sounds fun. My bad. That looks fun. That looks so fun. Like, let's go in there and, like, most people that are, in that position, like, as hearing people were like, no, we don't want to go in there and be talking. And it's like, wait, they can read lips and they can know how to communicate with everyone who talks because that's their reality around them all the time. So we could definitely do this. But, man, like, I one time saw a deaf person beat the piss out of a townie. And I say townie, so we're talking about southern, middle Missouri. A townie, I mean, probably, like, some backwoods trailer situation.
Yeah.
That's probably, like, the demographic of person that this was. Getting their ass just beat in a subway parking lot. Like, just get beat up by this other person who is speaking so wildly because they're hearing impaired.
Right.
And so their speech is just, like, you're unused to hearing things like that.
Right.
And so there's a lot going on in that little, dude, it's like a little, like, I don't even know how to describe it. Everything is so fucking crazy all the time.
That's the shit you need to get on camera.
Right. Yes, dude. There was a prisoner escaped from the prison, and our college campus had to go on lockdown, and, like, no one could leave the campus for 24 hours. Like, you couldn't leave the campus. You couldn't drive off campus to go get food and all this shit. They're like, you have to stay on campus because
locked down.
A prisoner escaped. Like, what in the fuck, dude?
And the thing is, like, Fulton, it's kind of like out in it's like just in the middle of, there's
it's farm country.
There's nothing around it.
So much farms around it.
Did you go to field parties and shit?
Oh, yeah. Well,
bonfires out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, fucking right, man. Well, I grew up in St. Louis. I went to 7 different schools, so I moved all around this motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So you used to hopping around and, like, inserting yourself and meeting new people and shit.
Yeah, I got good at it by necessity, but I eventually moved out to Lake St. Louis, Wentzville area, so I was used to, like, the country boy type of shit from having spent some time in my high school years in that area. So lots of bonfires, lots of fucking trucks, lots of beer.
Yeah, a lot of beer. Natty Light, you get a 30-pack for $15.
Not even, bro. It's like $12.99. $13 for a 30 beers.
Even cheap. You go hard. You shotgunning beers and shit.
Oh yeah. Well, you could drink 15 of them before you're, like, hammered. So it's fine. But it was like Fulton was definitely more country than I had ever experienced. And when I first got to school there, it was hard for me to find where I fit in.
Yeah.
Because it was so weird, man. Like, previously, what I was used to is, like, almost like a way people look. You can kind of, like, your popularity was kind of based on how you look in high school.
Yeah.
And I got to college, and your popularity was based on, like, the way you behave.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand that. Not that I behaved weird or anything like that, but it was just like I was used to being able to like talk to people and or like meet people, and then like for me it was like really challenging in Fulton to find girls. Because like when I was in school, it was cool. Like I would talk to people, and I played football. I dressed like punk rock, so I was kind of a floater amongst all the factions of my high school.
Okay.
But then when I got to college, it was like these girls aren't fucking with me. Like I'm over here like I hit all the requirements. Like, why do you not like me back? This is strange. And she's like, I don't know, Calvin. John's been, he's really cute too, and I like his truck. We've been mudding every weekend, so I'm like, oh shit, okay, I see. I need to learn how to ride a fucking horse.
That's some real shit too, man.
It is.
It is.
Like it was the first time that I realized like when it comes to relationships, so much about it needs to be like circumstantial.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter how you feel about each other, but if your circumstances aren't similar enough, then there's going to be like a lot of friction.
Well, especially like when you're young in high school and even in college, like a lot of it's just like proximity, like who's there around you.
Yeah.
It's like it's this weird fake ecosystem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like, how many people do you know in high school and even in college where it's like they don't really fit in, and then like they get out of that situation and then they find their own community and then they just fucking flourish and blossom.
Yeah. So many.
Oh my God.
So many. Yeah.
Because we're all fucking weird.
Right.
To one degree or another. Eventually you just become comfortable with it and you're just like, this is who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
And then like your brain's not even fully developed until you're 25 anyway. So
Right.
you're just doing a whole bunch of irrational shit
all the time
up until then.
Well, that's why like college is a good place to be, because a lot of times you can do some you can fuck up in a way that in real life would get you in jail, but you do it on campus.
That's
just
true.
gotta handle a little campus security and some smaller repercussions. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, it was a good thing for me because I'm a little bit of a party animal, I would say, to put it modestly. But I would like, it was just a good place for me to get that time of my life, like to get through that part of myself. Like,
Yeah.
To get through that party animal phase. I still party like all the time, but it's just not to the degrees that I used to regularly.
That is one benefit of college. I'm always a little torn because I feel like it's a waste of time to go to college if you don't know what you want to do, because so many people, they'll go like undecided or like whenever I started, I was like a bio major and then I went to athletic training, back to biology. I finally just like settled on business administration for undergrad because I wanted to be done in 4 years. Like those motherfuckers don't tell you that if you only take 12 hours, you're actually probably going to be here for 5.5 years.
Right. Of course they don't tell you. They want that tuition money.
Yeah, bro. So it's like I was taking like 18 hours a semester for a little bit just to get done. But
to get through it.
Yeah, but so many people do that, and all you're doing is like racking up a bill. And it's like, bro, like this is not like that's an expensive ass lesson. Like,
yeah, I think that trade schools are like the schools of the future. And,
I agree.
And if we could do something like more specific oriented, as opposed to these universities that are so broad. I mean, this is such a complex issue. Like, I obviously don't have any like authority on this subject, but what I've been thinking lately is that the more specific you can be, the better. And those that are undecided, like college can be a great place to decide, to find out what it is that you want to do for the rest of for your adult life. Maybe not the whole thing, but it's a great place it's a great environment to get that figured out.
Yeah, kind of discover yourself.
Yeah, but I don't think it's necessary for everyone, and it's probably not even necessary for most people. I think most people either are cool with something, they find a job, like a cell phone store or like, manager of a gas station or whatever. They enjoy that and it works for them and it works with their routine, their lifestyle, and like that's great. You don't need to go to school to do that.
Right.
You don't need to get a business degree to be the manager of a restaurant.
Right.
Although a lot of them require that. It just shows that you're serious and that you have experience in something. But if you're doing anything, if you have any remote interest in something particular, it would be great if there was like exclusively schools or classes for those particular things.
Right.
Like I went to a university and had a track and field scholarship and studied filmmaking, but I also studied all these other things, acting. I mean, I studied science, and
Right.
it's important. It's definitely important to know some of those things. But did I really need to take like these science labs? That if you break it down, like how much is school costing per semester? That's how many hours a semester. That's how many courses. Each course you can break down the price, and it's like, ooh, yeah, maybe that course was quite unnecessary if we're looking at the price of it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And I think for me, I would have gotten more out of school if I could have focused on my filmmaking as opposed to focusing on so many other things that were just a fucking like, okay, you're here because you have to be.
Right.
You're taking this test because you have to,
Right.
like type of shit. And that was for me, like the majority of high school was like that.
Yeah,
like,
you're just trying to meet the requirements.
Yeah, and I had way better grades in college than I had in high school. Like I had a 2.8 GPA in high school, which I didn't even fucking try. Like, of course, sometimes I didn't want to get bad grades. I had athletics. I had to keep a GPA for it, but I was like, show up to class, like listen, take the test, not do. I did some of my homework, but not most of it. Dude. Or I would like do it right before class and just like just get through it and it was fine. But we had to study. We had to be in classes that were so not tailored to our individual interests.
Well, high school in particular, like they don't teach you how to be successful in life.
They don't teach you how to learn. They need to teach us how to learn.
They teach you what, but they don't teach you how.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? They don't teach you critical thinking. They don't teach you anything that's actually relevant to most of life. Like a lot of people, if you could just teach them how to like balance a checkbook and like what is credit and how to handle a loan if you do go that, like they don't teach you these basic life skills.
Right.
They're just like, here's trigonometry and algebra. I don't need to fucking know algebra ever unless I'm going to go be like an architect or something. Like I don't need this shit. Yeah. Why is it a part of the curriculum?
I could understand like on the off chance that you might use a mathematical property to understand something in your life in some capacity, like, due to the transitive property, A plus B equals C. And if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. Oh my God, like Einhorn is Finkel, Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn's a man. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I could understand that, but I'm just like, that's so obscure, those moments. I'm like, I might have figured that out on my own.
Right.
Like, was it really necessary? My older brother's a teacher, and I ask him all the time. We've had many conversations about like curriculum. He's a math teacher. I can't math at all. Yeah. It's so fucking weird. But like he can play guitar around me all day, but I can pick up a guitar, know the very basics that I know and write songs all day. Yeah. And never get any better at guitar. Meanwhile, he's getting good at guitar but can't write songs, but he can math. I don't know. Our brains are total opposite.
Yeah.
So it's fun to have these discussions about what are they teaching, why are they teaching it, and what I've been sort of explained, and also, with Bo, he's kind of explained it to me as well. It's like, it's all funding. It doesn't matter. The kids don't fucking matter. The employees don't fucking matter. It's funding. Your school gets the fucking grades. They get the money.
Yeah.
How do they do the grades? They test for them.
Right.
They give you a test. You pass the test with a high enough grade, you get the money.
Right.
And that's what they want. They want the kids to pass the tests because the tests are the gatekeepers to the money.
Yeah.
And then as long as you pass the test, and some places they just don't have like the amenities to keep the kids interested. Like when Bo was working at Sumner, they didn't have art classes. They didn't have music. They didn't have video. They didn't have photo. These are, school like Ladue has had those programs for decades.
Right.
So they're getting kids interested in shit that the kids are actually interested in.
Right.
And they're able to, then, it's all money. Like if they can't even do these programs unless they have the funding for it.
Yeah.
And the people on the school board, they're not seeing the kids every day. They're not teaching the children. They're going to their meetings and they're moving the money and making choices for people that they never fucking meet, that they don't give a shit about.
Right.
And it's like, put this money in my pocket. Let me make this move for my family.
Yeah.
Et cetera, which I can't really blame them for being, like that. But at the same time, it's like, dude, we're talking about the future of our country. We're talking about how, and it blows my mind how much, like, how little resources, or like this election coming up, how much have we heard them talking about school? Like,
none.
Pretty much none. And we're in the middle of a fucking pandemic where school is just all the way up in the air. Like, we have no clue what's going on. So how is it not a fucking hot subject right now for this, election?
There's a lot of fucking things that need to be talked about when it comes to that.
Yeah,
just in general.
We could very easily go down this path, or we have a moment right now, Adam, to just like curve over to some other topic.
Oh yeah, no, we will. We for sure will, man. We for sure will. Yeah, no, it's wild, man. It's wild. But the creative aspect is so important for sure, dude. Like, so my daughter, I have 2 kids, and they're both doing the virtual learning right now, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But she's on the autism spectrum, not very severely, but like she hates math.
Right.
And then like I see like with her in school where like a lot of the kids, like if you're judged by like the standardized test, like there's a lot of there's many different forms of intelligence rather.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you start putting kids in these boxes, it almost just stifles what could be.
Absolutely it does.
Yeah, man.
And that's my problem with the situation. I mean, I don't have any fucking solutions. I'm 29. I'm trying to figure out solutions,
just talking,
right?
man. We're just trying,
Yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like the people who move the money need to be involved with the children in the building in some capacity, but they're not. And so they're not seeing what good the money does or doesn't do.
Yeah.
Like if there isn't any, or, this and that. And so, yeah, it's just frustrating. They have these tests that are so antiquated, and these subjects, that are antiquated. And there's like, I don't know, it's weird because the school system is fucking huge. I mean, how many public schools, how many private schools do we have in this country?
Right.
And it's all kind of one standard style. I mean, there's alternative schools for sure.
Right. But they're not as many as the publics.
And they're not offered to everyone.
Right.
Also. So I don't know, man. Like I hope that in the future, and maybe with this virtual learning, there might be something where things do start to get more specific, where you have, sort of like underground school, where it's like, hey, they're not teaching you this part of history, and they're not teaching you this part of credit, and they're not teaching you this part of, et cetera, et cetera. But Bodine, every Thursday, he's got a class where, this isn't real, but, hypothetically, Bodine's got a class every Thursday where he's teaching, history. We're learning about Black Panthers. We're learning about how, these different factions, how they, these things that aren't mentioned in the textbooks. We're talking about how Tesla stole everything from somebody else and gets all the credit, or he had everything stolen from him, rather.
Yeah.
And they get all the credit. We're not learning those things in school, which I feel like I've learned through art and these other things. Art is always the truth. In obviously
ways.
It's a distorted version of the truth, but the truth is always there. I don't think you can create authentic art. You can't create it authentically, which is how it resonates with people.
Yeah.
Without having the truth in there.
Well, I think the solution to all this is once you get to Atlanta and you start crushing it, then we have the Calvin Tigre School for the Arts.
That's what I'm thinking, man.
And then it just starts blowing up.
Yeah, we'll offer programs in video, tattoos. Our math class will be run by some skaters that are teaching skate math.
Yeah, bro.
Like, dude. Mathematics makes sense if you give me a skateboard. I'm like, okay, you press down at this angle, you have two mechanisms, right? You have 2 feet.
Yeah.
They can push the board in these directions. How much force you put down on the board with the pop and all that, like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Physics make a lot of sense when you put them in skateboarding.
Yeah, you just got to make it relevant.
Yeah. So maybe we could do something like that.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about buying, like, well, I need to acquire the capital, of course, but I've been thinking about, and I'm on my way there, like buying like a movie theater.
Ooh, that'd be dope.
Or a tattoo spot. I just started doing stick and poke tattoos, and
I saw you doing one.
Dude, we've gone so fucking crazy, me and my friends. Like, we've already, I think it came with like 20 needles. No, it came with 30 needles. And I'm like, oh shit, that's a lot. This is gonna last me like a year. No, we've already gone through 20 needles.
Oh really?
I've got 2 on me now. I've done 3. My partner, she did 2 on herself.
Really?
Yeah, my roommates, yeah, we're all just doing stick and pokes all day. So I was like, man, I might be into like owning a spot where I knew somebody one time. I went into this tattoo spot to get a tattoo, and I thought this guy was a tattoo artist, and he was tatted, like all over his head and everything. And no, he was just the owner.
Yeah.
And he was like talking to the guys there, like, hey, can I come in on Wednesday and do a session on somebody? And I was like, oh, wait, so you're the owner, but you're asking the artist if you can come in and do a session. Do you do tattoos? And he's like, nah, I just started. And I'm like, oh, you've been tatted, but you haven't done any. And then you bought a spot and facilitated tattoos to happen.
Yeah.
And then you start doing tattoos. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. Like how this works. Like, I could own a spot and just pop in when necessary.
For real.
Or when I'm, trying to do this and that and just get my little side hustle on, because I'm starting to learn, man, like having been like an athlete and then a musician and a filmmaker, and I'm skating all the time. It's like the more you do something, the better you get at it.
Right.
So these other things that I like that I've never even considered doing, like tattoos, I'm like, man, I bet you I could fucking learn how to do tattoos for real.
For sure.
Real. I mean, like stick and pokes is like, that's like not even, it's real tattooing, but it's not like with a gun or anything. It's not real.
Yeah, once you get that machine in there, yeah.
It's not the profession, but like shit, I could probably learn it and probably get good. I'm shit at drawing, so I don't know.
You can learn anything. You just got to be willing to suck at the beginning.
Yeah, that's my favorite part. Like,
it really is.
Honest to God, like, Adam, I go places, I'll go, like, and they're like, oh, Tigre's here. Cool, yes, we're all excited. Or, you're the guy, thank you for being here and all this stuff. And then I go to the skate park, and I'm not the dude. and I'm not even close to being the best one there. There's like 12-year-olds that are just out skating me all day.
Oh, dude.
And people are like, "What's up, man? What do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, this is great." Like,
yeah, like you're back to being nobody.
Yes, and it's fucking sick. It's sick to be at the skate park and to be like, these people that this one guy had a camera necklace. And I was like, oh, do you do camera stuff? He's like, yeah, I'm a filmmaker. And I was like, no shit, me too. And then we just started talking about that. Actually, you'd be surprised. I've been surprised how many fucking skaters are filmmakers or like videographers,
Yeah.
Yeah, many.
It kind of goes hand in hand.
It really does.
Yeah. And especially today with social, like you can live anywhere in the world and just, as long as you have a camera, you start filming your shit, maybe you fucking gain a following from skating.
Yeah, honestly. And like that, skateboarding is like the root of how I got into filmmaking.
Yeah.
It's like that's how I acquired a camera. And when I first had my camera, I wasn't trying to make films. I had a device and an idea, and the device helped me see that vision through to the end.
Yeah.
It was just like a tool to materialize this idea I had in my head.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of been like, ever since then, I've just been.
It all starts with an idea.
Yeah, I've just been like, that's how I gotta do it. I just gotta take these things that are in here and make them, materialize in front of me.
Nice. Shit, man. Well, you're on the fucking path, bro.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm trying.
I'm so glad we were able to have this conversation before you left, dude.
Yes, me too.
Oh my God, this worked out so well. It's funny because I was telling Bo, I was like, whenever I can't remember how I came across you online or something like that, but like whenever I started the podcast, I'm like, who's doing what in the city? Who the fuck is here? Like, there's tons of people here. I don't know but a fraction of them, and barely even that. And then like, so I created this huge long list, and like I put you on there. Like you've probably been on my list for a minute,
dude. That's what's up.
And then fucking like I got you just in the fucking nick of time, bro.
Just in the nick of time.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Well, man, dude, I want to be respectful of your time. We're actually coming up on like right about an hour and a half. So
cool,
dude. This has been dope. Is there anything else you want to shout out, direct people to, how they can check you out? I'll put it in the show notes, but if there's anything you want to leave the people with, man, like...
Yeah, definitely check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Calvin Tigre. It's spelled like Tigre, so youtube.com/Calvin Tigre. My Instagram at Calvin_Tigre,
right on.
Et cetera, et cetera. So from my YouTube channel, I'm releasing music videos that I've created. Not all of them, but a lot of them. I'm releasing Tiger Nolo, which is my rap group. We're from the future.
You guys do some dope shit.
Thank you, thank you.
Just hype ass energy. I love it.
All the time. Yeah. It's fucking party. And then I've got videos from my band Ursa Major. We have a music video coming out in October. Spooky season. It's a spooky season type of video, so it's perfect timing. It's a song called Grimace. So check that out. Ursa Major, Tiger Nolo. I'm Calvin Tiger. I'm here with Adam.
It's been dope, bro.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you stopping by. That's it, man.
Cool.
Thank you, my man.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right, everybody. Until next time.